All right, you guys, welcome to week one. Week one's going to be all about the why and the how of the next 12 weeks. We're going to be talking about weight training and clean eating, why strength is important, and lay out a few basics for the next 12 weeks of the course. You're going to get some homework this week, mostly about nutrition and how to get that unlocked, especially at the grocery store, and talking a little bit more about that private Facebook group. We're going to be learning a lot of movements and techniques over this next 12 weeks. So this first week, this week one, is going to kind of set the tone for the rest of the course. All right, let's get into it. All right, this is Trisha. She's about to do something she's never done. Boom! 30-inch box jump, no problem. All right, I showed you that because I want you to start thinking about what it means to be fit. The idea of being fit right now, the mainstream normal idea of fit is, the going to the gym and doing bicep curls and tricep curls and training your body in little pieces, little sections one at a time. But we never really train your body as one complete unit the way it was designed to be used. So when we section off different muscle groups and train one thing at a time, like tricep day, leg day, oh, I'm doing abs today, now I'm going to do some cardio. When we train our bodies in sections like that, we never really learn how to use the entire unit as one machine, the perfect machine. So when we're talking about fitness and a person who is fit, basically that means that you'll be able to perform any given task well, whether that task is picking up your kids and throwing them over your head in a swimming pool, or picking up a heavy suitcase and putting it on top of the car, or even just walking up and down the stairs. A truly fit person will be good at any given task that we encounter in real life. That's what this course is all about designing a sustainable fitness program that includes as many different stimulus as possible. So we're not going to be specializing in any one thing. Just like we touched on in the assessment video, that basics video that went out last week, we're not trying to be marathon runners. We're not trying to be weightlifters. We're trying to be good at everything, really well-rounded, fit individuals. That's what we're aiming for. If you look up fit in the dictionary, you'll see that one of the definitions is to be physically healthy or strong. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean to be physically healthy? What does it mean to be strong? Does that mean you can run a marathon in less than 3 hours? Does that mean you're able to lift 10 pounds? Does it mean you're able to lift 1,000 pounds? So the definition of fit and fitness is really obscure in the mainstream acceptable norm. So we define fitness as work capacity across broad time and modal domains. So what that means is, how much work can you accomplish? How long does it take you to accomplish it? And what are you doing to accomplish that work? Are you carrying something? Are you running or swimming? The idea of being fit and fitness means that no matter what you're doing, you're able to perform work quickly. And that's about as simple as we can get it. Work capacity across broad time and modal domains. So if our aim is to be fit, assuming that the definition of fitness is work capacity across broad time and modal domains, if the objective for our training is to be fit, that means that everything else will come along with it. The health markers, the blood pressure, cholesterol, the body fat percentage, your resting heart rate, your respiratory endurance, all that stuff will come along as kind of a secondary, I guess you'd call it a side effect. But so the more fit you are with this definition, the better everything else will be. You'll feel better, you'll have more energy, your blood pressure will be lower, your cholesterol will improve. All of those other health markers will come along as kind of an added little perk. So if we focus on work capacity across broad time and modal domains, everything else will come along with it. So we don't have to go out and exercise in order to lower our blood pressure. We don't have to go out and run in an effort to increase our lung capacity or get our resting heart rate down. If we focus on increasing work capacity, everything else will come along with it. So that's where we're going. So I just wanted to talk about weight training real quick, because there's a big social misunderstanding with strength and weight training. So first off, weight training is one of the safest activities you can perform. It's even safer than jogging. Statistically speaking, if you jog 1,000 hours, you will sustain 3 injuries, mostly ankles and knees. Weight training, on the other hand, you will sustain 1 injury per every 1,000 hours of training, mostly shoulders. So statistically speaking, weight training is safer than jogging. So anybody that wants to go out and jog, I mean, have at it if that's your thing, but don't think that weight training and building strength is going to lead to injury. It's actually the exact opposite of that. With weight training comes a lot of mobility work and flexibility, stamina, endurance. I mean, weight training trains the whole gamut of fitness. So that's what we're going to be focusing on quite a bit, just in an all-around effort to increase strength. So basically, the stronger you are, the easier it is to accomplish a normal task. Going to the grocery store, walking up and down stairs, those normal things will become easier the stronger you are, less taxing on your heart. So let's assume for a second that you can back squat 400 pounds one time. That would be your maximum effort lift at 400 pounds. So what do you think would happen to your heart rate if you were squatting just your body weight? Not much would happen to your heart rate. It wouldn't go up. It would be a really easy evolution for you to squat just your body weight, assuming that your max lift is 400 pounds. So let's compare that to something quote unquote normal, like checking your mail or walking up 3 flights of stairs. If you're not strong enough to accomplish those evolutions, your heart rate will go up. It's not a cardio issue. It's not a weak heart issue. It's that your body is not strong enough to sustain that activity. If that is a maximum effort evolution for you, walking upstairs or checking the mail or anything else like that, if that is a maximum effort evolution, your heart rate is going to go up quite a bit. You'll be breathing heavy. It'll be taxing. That's a difficult task. So basically, the stronger you are, the easier normal things will become. And it boils down to an issue of strength. Like I was saying, it's not that your heart's weak. You don't need to go out and do more cardio because those things are difficult for you. It's a strength issue. The stronger you are, the easier regular things become. And the easier things are, the longer you will live, the higher your quality of life. You'll be able to go on hikes, play with the kids, play with the grandkids. You'll be able to do whatever you want because you're strong enough to maintain that level of activity much longer. Along those same lines, the stronger you are, the easier strenuous activities become. The stronger you are, the easier it'll be to go out and run a 5K. It'll be easier to play a full game of soccer or football. It'll be easier to go on, more strenuous and challenging hikes. So the more strength you have, the more you train your body as a functional unit, as one machine. The full body health and strength becomes much, much greater, and the easier it is to do whatever it is you want. Going back to that focus on fitness. No matter what you're doing, you'll perform well because you're strong enough to maintain that activity level. And a lot of the strength training that we do is core based, core focused. So basically every movement that you can think of originates in your core. We're talking about your abdominals, your adductors and abductors, your posterior chain, everything in the middle of your body. Basically, that's where all the movements come from. Running, jumping, swimming, biking, walking, whatever activity you can think of originates in the core. So we train a lot of core strength, and that'll lead to that longevity and the quality of life that we're looking for over a long, sustainable period of time. Now, we already touched on this in the basic video, but I wanted to go over it again because it's the foundation for everything we do is clean eating. So we're going to base our diet on vegetables, especially greens, lean meats, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. Just following this outline will work wonders, I'm telling you. Just cut out the sugar and watch the pounds melt off. You'll be more energetic, you'll sleep better. I mean, all those things that we talked about in the assessment video, that'll come along with that. So that's where we're going to be going. That first month, this is really all we need to worry about. We'll talk about it a little bit more later for your homework, but for that first month, this is where we're at, okay? Lots of veggies, no sugar. And when I say sugar, I'm not talking about apples and bananas, blueberries and stuff like that. I'm talking about added sugars to the foods that we're eating. You'll find it a lot in processed foods, anything that comes from a factory, basically. Most things with ingredient labels. If you have an ingredient label on whatever it is you're eating, chances are sugar is one of the top three. I challenge you, look in your fridge or your pantry and find something in there that doesn't have sugar as one of the main three ingredients. Those ingredient labels, how they're made up. The first item on the ingredient list is the most prevalent in that food, and then the second is the second most, and the third is the third most, and so on all the way down the list. So most of the food that we get, the Hungry Man's, the anything in a box or microwavable, anything processed or pre-made, most of it has sugar as one of the three primary ingredients. That's not just a little bit here and there. That's like the basis of what it's made of. And you really got to be careful, you guys. Check out this weight control oatmeal. Maple and brown sugar, cinnamon, banana bread. It's got that nice fancy green label, which people associate with healthy foods nowadays. You'll notice more of the quote unquote healthy foods. A lot of the labels are green. We'll talk about that later as well. But hey, it's got 7 grams of protein and 6 grams of fiber, and it'll help you with your weight management plan. Check that out. But look at the ingredient labels. Number 3 on all 3 of those different varieties of flavors. Ingredient number 3 is maltodextrin. What's that? Sugar. That's processed sugar. It's not cane sugar. It's not agave nectar. It's manufactured in a laboratory sugar. Has the same effect on your insulin levels in your body as regular old sugar, but they call it maltodextrin because you're not looking for that word. There's so many, I think there's like 80 or 90 different labels for sugar that people are using nowadays to kind of trick us into buying these weight control, the instant oatmeal, low fat, low carb, gluten free, whatever the buzzword of the day is. But they still add that crap in there, and it's just destroying your nutrition plan. So I don't want to overload everybody with too much information right off the bat. We're going to be talking a lot about this later, but for now, all we need to be concerned with is getting rid of sugar and making sure that every meal is veggies, meats, nuts and seeds for fat, and whatever else from there is up to you, but eliminate the sugar right off the bat. Okay, the problem with sugar is that it affects your insulin levels, and that leads to mood swings, weight gain. You're not sleeping, you don't feel good, no energy, stuff like that. So right off the bat, let's just eliminate sugar. We'll talk about this a little bit more for your homework, but I'll leave it at that. All right, so here are the 5 basics for the course. This is all we really need to focus on this week. If we can do this for this first week and lay a good foundation, that'll take us through the next 12 weeks and really go a long way for maintaining and sustaining a healthy lifestyle. So right off the bat, we're going to do 5 things. These are the only 5 things we really need to worry about. I'll take care of the rest with the training and going over how to squat and press and all this fun stuff. But this is what we need to do when we're outside of the gym. The gym is, an hour, hour and a half a day. This is the other 23. So number 1, drink water. About half an ounce per pound of body weight minimum. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you're drinking 100 ounces of water at the minimum. Our activity levels are going to be really high. Just that water intake, and I know it's a pain because the more water you drink, the more nature's going to call. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a process. It might be a bit of an adjustment, but it's the most important thing we can do is to drink water. Drink enough water. The next thing, number 2, we're going to have to get some sleep. 7 to 9 hours in one stretch per night. And I know from talking to a lot of you and a lot of the people that have already gone through the course, that is a huge issue. Most of the people that I've been talking to are around the 4 to 6 hour range. But the more we're exercising, the more we're working out, the more sleep we need. Because we're not getting stronger or improving in the gym. When we go to sleep, that's when our bodies rebuild and recover. So if you're not sleeping enough, you're not going to recover. You'll be overtraining. You'll be constantly sore. Obviously, you're not going to have the energy levels that we need. So right under drinking water. Getting enough sleep is going to be the most beneficial thing we could possibly do for our bodies. Now, number three, this one is tricky. We're just going to lay the baseline right now. Okay, we're going to go over some pretty precise meal portioning later, but for now, I just want to focus on the meal portions that we don't really need scales. We don't have to count a whole lot. So these double fists for meals. So if you make a fist with each hand, put them together. That's how much food you should be eating in one meal. And for a snack, just take one of your fists. That should be about your meal portion. Portioning out the various combinations of food for our meals is going to become extremely important. But for now, remember that outline. Mostly veggies, then meats, then good fats. The nuts and seeds, avocados, in that order. So the majority of your plate should be carbs from vegetables or fruit. The next largest portion should be from lean meats, turkey, lamb, fish, stuff like that. And the next smaller portion, smaller than the meat portion, is the good fats, the poly and monounsaturated fats. The avocados, olive oil, coconut oil, almonds, cashews, stuff like that. Now this next one is going to be a big issue as well. Meal frequency. Every 3 to 4 hours, we need to be eating something. Eat a breakfast smoothie right when you wake up, not a Nutri-Grain bar or a Slim Fast bar. Real food that you're putting together to eat first thing in the morning. And I know a lot of us are not breakfast eaters. I understand that. A lot of the people we've talked to, a lot of the people in the course have a real challenge eating something as soon as they wake up, but it's super important to start our metabolism as early as possible and to maintain it throughout the day. Your metabolism is kind of like a campfire. If you just dump a whole bunch of wood on there, the campfire, it'll go out. You'll smother it. It'll stop burning. But if you're consistently adding a little bit of wood, a few twigs here, a log here and there, every couple hours, that campfire eventually is going to grow into an inferno. And that's what we're doing with your metabolism. Your metabolism will stop if you're not eating every 3 or 4 hours. You will stop burning calories. You'll stop burning fat. So we need to fuel your body in order to perform. Your metabolism has got to be burning hot. Do this for 1 week. I challenge you to do this for 1 week, every 3 or 4 hours, eat something. And at the end of that week, I guarantee that at the 3-hour mark, you will be starving. You'll wake up hungry. You'll be hungry right before you eat. Every 3 or 4 hours, your body will know that, hey, it's time for food. That means your metabolism is fueling hot. It's running hot. It's burning through everything you're giving it and then some. So the meal frequency is super important to get your metabolism going and get all that stuff burning hot. It's not going to do you any good to eat the right things in the right amount if you're only doing it twice a day. Your metabolism is not going to be burning when you're not eating. You have to be getting the right portions, the right food at the right times. Every 3 or 4 hours, eat something. I'm telling you, 1 week, give it 1 week. Super intent on every 3 or 4 hours for 1 week, and I guarantee you will start noticing a difference right off the bat. And number 5, eliminate sugar. Right off the bat, all of it. A lot of people want to say, oh yeah, but it's all natural honey or it's all natural agave nectar. It doesn't matter. It's the same effect on your body. It has the same effect as any old other kind of sugar. Add on to that the fact that most honey and agave nectar, all that natural stuff, anything you can get at Safeway or Fred Meyer or Walmart or wherever you're buying it, it's been processed. It's been processed to the point that it doesn't even resemble the natural version of itself. It's not even close anymore. So regardless of what the ingredient label says, I mean, they're gonna say it's healthy, it's all natural, it's made with real honey. Yeah, so what? It's still sugar, it's still a huge detriment to your body and your metabolism, and it's killing you. So eliminate all that sugar, the dextrose, sucrose, fructose, glucose, maltodextrin. If you can't pronounce it, it's probably sugar. So just get rid of it right off the bat. These are the 5 basics for the course. This is all we need to worry about this week. We will build upon this foundation later, but for now, drink water, get sleep, watch your portions and frequency, and eliminate sugar. All right, so you're gonna get homework every week. This is your homework for this week. We've sent out a grocery list in your emails, so check that and stick to it. A good rule of thumb when you go to the grocery store is to stay to the outside of the aisles. That's the more natural stuff is out there. Fewer ingredient labels, fewer ingredients in general. So try to stick to the outside of the grocery store as much as you can. But if you do need to wander on the inside and you got to get this or that on the inside, make sure that you check the ingredient label. Don't just look at the sugar percentage, look at the ingredient list, the list of ingredients. If it's got sugar on there or anything you can't pronounce, put it back. So we're tracking food, sleep, and water intakes. So this one offers a little bit of a challenge. So we're tracking how much food, sleep, and water we're getting in. It doesn't have to be anything really crazy right now. You don't necessarily need to be writing it down, but making a mental note of how many bottles of whatever kind of water you're drinking, how much sleep you're getting, and kind of how much food you're eating. We will start tracking this pretty meticulously a little bit later, but for now, just make a mental note of how much water you're drinking, how much sleep you're getting, and how much food you're eating, remembering the portions and frequency for that food. And lastly, post pictures and recipes to that Facebook page, that private Facebook page that we're all in. That plays a huge role in sharing ideas, sharing recipes, challenges, victories, whatever you want to share in there. It's a very community-based program, and we're all in it together. So use that Facebook page. Tell us how that walk felt last night. Tell us how much energy you have or don't have, or how much sleep you're getting or not getting. Let's communicate together and build the community and utilize those resources that we have. All right, so we went over the weight training and clean eating. We talked about why strength is important and the 5 basics for the course, as well as some homework for this week. So take that homework and run with it. Take the grocery list that we gave out with the email and go to the grocery store, stock up on whole foods, veggies, especially greens, lean meats, nuts and seeds, and some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. No sugar. All right, so we'll be around. If you guys have any questions or comments for us, just shoot me an email or a Facebook message, give us a call, whatever. We're here, 24 hours a day. You can get a hold of us. So use that homework and this video to kind of springboard yourself into the next 12 weeks. We're going to lay the foundation this week and next, and then we'll start building on that. It'll get a little bit more involved, but for now, just stick with those 5 basics and get your homework done. All right, we'll see you around the gym.